Mama, I gotta read this book and 6 other books tonight, or else I can't play football.
Foosball? You playing the foosball behind my back?
The only reason I'm doing this so I can go to school.
School? You going to school?
I'm
Ow!
sorry, Mama. I wanted to tell you.
You off gallivanting with your fancy foosball friends at school while I'm sitting here all day with nobody to keep me company except Steve? You gonna lose all your fancy foosball games and you're gonna fail your big exam because school is
The devil? Everything is the devil to you, Mama! Well, I like school, and I like football, and I'm gonna keep doing them both because they make me feel good. And by the way, Mama, alligators are ornery because they're medulla oblongata. And I like Vicky, and she likes me back. And she showed me her boobies, and I like them too.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rhythm Section Podcast. We're here to shine a spotlight on Greater Memphis and North Mississippi's vibrant music community by unveiling the incredible stories of our talented artists, produced by SRP Studios. Podcast-powered branding for business growth. Go to srpstudiosllc.com for a free consultation.
Tune in every Wednesday morning for fresh episodes on Apple and Spotify. I'm Ron Burgundy. That's great. I didn't know that was in there. Join us at 6 p.m. Central on YouTube and Facebook for Wednesday video releases. For all the details, visit therhythmsectionpod.com.
That was almost perfect. If you would have read it like a question.
I sure wish I would have gotten that, but you know.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
But you read it too straight. But I've been wanting to do that to Jeff for so long, and finally did it.
Sex Panther.
In defense to you, the script is very consistent.
Yeah.
So we don't look over it. We don't rehearse the script. So I knew I'd be able to sneak that in on you. This isn't an indictment on your...
Good stuff.
Hempville, everybody. This episode of the Rhythm Section Pod is presented to you by Hempville CBD Southaven, whose mission is breaking people's dependency on Big Pharma, discover life-changing CBD products and Delta-8 THC alternatives to opiates and prescription medicines.
Now I'm trying to read ahead.
No, you're good.
All right. Use promo code TRS20 for an exclusive 20% off purchases at hempvillecbd.com and enjoy free shipping for orders $50 and up. Please visit their store at 562 East Goodman Road, Southaven, Mississippi.
Follow them on Facebook and Instagram, and catch the Hempville CBD podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Its purpose is to give you hemp education and market awareness. So the best way to support this educational podcast is to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the link in the description and hit that subscribe button. Visit hempvillecbd.com for all information. Yeah. Oh, that was exciting.
That's good stuff.
I couldn't wait. The anticipation leading into that portion of your script.
Oh, no, it should have been, I'm Ron Burgundy?
Yes. It was still great, though.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing along. But welcome to the show, everybody. Good to have you here. Jeff, good to have you here again.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today?
Man, I'm great. Had a great Friday night.
Yes, and we're going to be discussing your Friday night.
It was a good time.
Because it's all about the shirt I'm wearing, Fevertree.
Yep.
We'll get to that. All right. Today's episode, we are spotlighting Brad Riales and Brian Hall.
Yes.
From Five for the Kill.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, inside joke. Jeff just made me laugh.
It's got nothing to do with Brad or Brian, we promise. Sorry, guys.
So let me do it proper. Today, Brad Riales and Brian Hall, singer, guitar player, bass player, vocal, Five for the Kill. We had a great time with them. You're going to learn more about a new band, but not so new band, just new to the public.
Yeah.
Next week, we have Emma Caroline from 901 Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Down the road, we have Nick Ireland, Land Divided, and Hairspray Nation. Looking forward to giving you those interviews in the next few weeks. All right. Before we hit our band sponsors, and we have a new one coming up, by the way, so we're excited to announce that one. We're going to talk about Jeff's night, Friday night at Hadley's, watching our friends Fevertree.
Yeah.
And who opened for Fevertree again?
Stretch.
So I have to admit, I have to own this. I called out sick Friday night. I called out sick the whole day.
Yeah.
My daughter ran a low grade for like Wednesday and Thursday. And then Thursday night, I just knew I was coming down with something. My head hurt. So sorry, guys, I could not make it. My head felt like an air balloon, a hot air balloon.
Look, man, with everything that's going around right now, I think that it was admirable for you to stay home because you don't want to risk giving anything to anybody.
No.
My house has been full of, we've had crazy. My son had COVID, and now he's had a week of strep, and he ended up in the ER. So, thank God.
All of that rest knocked it out. So I woke up Saturday without a headache.
Nice.
And then, that way I didn't want it to drag along and get you sick here on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be rude.
Sure.
All right, Jeff, let's talk about Friday night.
Dude, it was a great night. Great crowd. All of our friends were there, the people we know that we see and talk about every few days.
Mm-hmm.
Steve and Katrina Owens and Danny Day, and the whole crew was there. Stretch. I sent you a photograph.
Yes. And right now, I'll be putting photos up of this night, both bands. Thank you to Donna Etheridge.
Yeah.
I pulled your photos.
Yeah.
Jeff sent me this picture we're popping up right now. Well, I'll let you explain it here. But anyways, yes, so we're going to be rolling up pictures. So please describe what you saw as I put the picture up now.
Yeah, well, this one photo just describes the entire show of Stretch. They were unreal. What entertainers, the amazing band. When the car wash floppy things aired up on stage, I knew I had to get a photograph.
Yeah.
And it was just a great band, amazing performance, stage presence. They put on a show. Props. It was like Gallagher playing music.
Were they smashing watermelons by any chance?
They didn't do that, but they threw Slim Jims into the audience. They did all kinds of crazy
I think
stuff.
floppy things is the proper name for those.
I don't know what they're called, but it was fun.
Yes. So, all right. So, do you want to continue with them, or you want to move to Fevertree?
I'll transition into Fevertree because, like I said, I don't know their songs. Stretch is not a band I'd seen before. I can't talk about specific songs.
Well, let's talk about who they were on tour with, and they roll up in this massive bus and trailer.
Yes, I mean legit tour bus. They've been opening for Skid Row. There were some other bands that were mentioned that I can't remember, but they've opened for some major acts throughout the country. I'm not sure how Fevertree managed to get them to stop here and do a show. I don't know if they were between shows and maybe this was just kind of on the way. I'm not sure how all that works.
I think Curtain Call Records had something to do with it. They hosted it for them, which is
because their label
is Fevertree's representation.
Yeah,
Curtain Call Records. Okay, so
and I did. Full disclosure, and Steve Owens knows this because he never fails to give me shit for not staying for an entire show. So I left early. I never make it to the end.
Yeah.
As much as I love the guys in Fevertree, they know by now.
Yes.
Jeff's bedtime is about halfway through the set.
So who was picking on you?
Steve Owens. I tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I'm out of here," and he just laughed.
What?
He just laughed and went back to watching the show.
Well, he's a machine.
Oh, I don't know how he does it.
He is a machine, and a machine among other machines, I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole crew out there, you know who you are.
Yeah.
The Michael Halls, I don't want to leave people out.
No, it's inevitable.
Yes. So you roll out. How much of Fevertree did you catch?
My guess is I probably got halfway through.
Okay.
Heard several of their big hits that I can't remember how to name right off the top of my head, but we've all heard them. Great songs. I did hear Buried Alive. We love that tune. That's one of their most recent recordings they put out.
Yes.
Didn't get to hear Muddy Jesus. I'm sure they closed with that one. That's their closer.
I did watch some videos that were posted, I believe, by Donna Etheridge again.
Yeah.
Thank you for those. She's really good at that. You're really good at that, Donna. We can count on you to document any show you're at. So we appreciate that.
Shout out to Thomas Halfacre.
Okay.
He ran sound.
Okay.
Holy shit, they sounded good.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Rocco and John, rhythm section, really stuck out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was freaking tight. The bass was amazing.
I've always been a fan of Rocco's tone. It's always big.
And the kick drum was huge.
Yeah.
Not taking anything away from Tim and Mike. You know,
Sure.
The low end on this show was it was there. Thomas
cool.
did a fantastic job of running sound for this thing. And of course, you know, Tim and Mike always sound great doing their thing. Tim's voice was on point. I will say.
What about how was John Peterson?
John Peterson did a great job. Yeah.
Good.
They were super tight, in my opinion. I've never heard them play a bad show, but it's obvious to me that these guys have been rehearsing a lot.
Yeah, they do. They put the work in for sure.
They put the work in, and they're tight because I'm sure they're expecting some shows this spring and summer.
I would hope so.
From Curtain Call, they're probably going to end up doing
I need to
some
redeem
festivals.
myself.
Yeah.
So thanks for the support, too, from Fevertree. It's no secret they've become good friends of ours. We love seeing you guys kick ass out there and having the success that you're having. Can't wait to see y'all again. I will do everything I can to catch the next show.
Right.
But let's move on to our band sponsors.
Okay.
And this segment might have some kind of connection.
Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we read off tour dates, road dates, club dates, gig dates for our beautiful band sponsors. But we're going to start out with an announcement of our new sponsor, everybody. And it is Fevertree.
The Possum Titty Band.
So we're going to get through the band dates, and then I'll give some context on how this came to be.
All right.
Fevertree is a Memphis-based rock band that pulls heavily from its southern roots. They created a powerful and soulful mix of southern rock, blues, funk, and nitty-gritty rock and roll. Listen to the singles Muddy Jesus, Buried Alive, and More Than Enough on Spotify, along with albums, Social Mediocrity, and Lessons Learned. Opening up for such acts as Tora Tora and Josie Scott's Saliva, Fevertree always brings the house down and has killed electricity for an entire Memphis city block.
Yes, they have.
Find Fevertree's socials and tour dates at fevertreeband.com.
Area 51, Friday, February 16th at Rock House Live, Collierville. That's a 9 p.m. start. Saturday, February 17th at Dan McGinnis. That's a 9 p.m. start. Friday, March 1st at Lafayette's. That's a 6 p.m. start. And Saturday, March 2nd at Dan McGinnis. That's a 9 p.m. start. Follow Area 51 on Facebook at Area 51 Memphis.
Shout out to our good friend Shawn Few. His band formerly known as... It will be Saturday, February 17th at Lafayette's, 9 p.m. start. And then again, Saturday, February 24th, easy for me to say, at Dan McGinnis, 9 p.m. start. Quick reminder on their residencies. First Saturday of every month at Neil's. Second Saturday at Hadley's. And the last Saturday of every month at Dan McGinnis. Follow Shawn on Facebook at Shawn.Few.7.
And our good friends in Seeing Red, Saturday, February 24th at Rail Garden. That's an 8 p.m. start. Saturday, March 9th at Lafayette's Music Room. That's a 9 p.m. start. Saturday, April 13th at Lafayette's Music Room. That's a 9 p.m. start. You can follow Seeing Red at seeingredband.com. And I'm assuming that Lafayette's must have changed
Yes.
from 10 to 9.
It's consistent
Because
with
we've
everyone.
seen that. Yeah.
So, which is kind of cool. Either they're ending early or they're giving the band an extra hour of playtime.
Yeah. Don't know which one it is.
Right. Well, again, thanks to all those sponsors. So real quick, I want to give a special thank you and shout out to our friend Rocco Walls.
Yes.
Rocco, bass player from Fevertree.
Yeah.
Contacts you first and talks about wanting to help support with the band sponsorship. You forward him to me. He and I start chatting, and sure enough, he wanted to help and become a band sponsor. So I was like, great, send me your tour dates, show dates. He's like, well, we don't play that often.
Right.
Which, when they do, we're going to promote them for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like, maybe just push our website, our socials. And I just thought that was very sweet of you, Rocco, that you came in, and it's a slightly different format for him. And then I enjoyed writing that ad, especially the electricity part. But that's what we're going to get now every week for the remainder of this season is, an ad for our friends Fevertree, but thank you, Rocco, for supporting like you did by being a real, an actual sponsor with us, joining Area 51, Seeing Red, and Shawn Few. It's great to have you on board with us. Thank you.
Yeah, and this cup originally, I asked Rocco for the photograph that he used on the pillow.
Yeah.
I never got it. He never sent me the photo. So Rocco, if you want your photo on some merch, get me the photograph.
Lift it up more.
But yeah, so instead of Rocco, we have Possum Titty, and we've told the story of where that came from. And we got these mugs made up. I gave them to the band. They were done both ways, where the other side has us on it, rhythm section, but we got left-handed and right-handed mugs made. So depending on which way you drink, you can either see Possum Titty when you're drinking, or you can see rhythm section when you're drinking.
Now, I would say most people drink right-handed.
Yeah.
Right? So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Just like our old mugs. It's actually up here behind me if you're watching, where me and Jeff's faces are on it. I drink right-handed, and I literally see Jeff's fucking face
Every morning.
staring me down every morning. So, all right. Well, again, Mike Bertoldo, John Patterson, Tim Dills, Rocco Walls, thank you for your support.
We love you.
Appreciate you. All right. So now we're going to talk about Brad Riales and Brian Hall. 5 for the kill.
Yes.
So Brad is the vocals guitar. Brian is vocals bass. Quick shout out to the rest of the band too. We got Jason Luckett, vocals guitar, Taylor Morris on drums, and Zach McCullough, keys, guitar, and vocals.
Yeah.
So
I did see Brad and Taylor
awesome
at the Fevertree show.
Good deal.
They showed up to give their support.
So I think this story, well, I mean, the interview is great because you learn about the beginnings of this band, but what's interesting is the difference between their official start to when people started learning about them.
Yeah.
They played and rehearsed and wrote in the woodshed for a few years.
Yeah.
Just grilling out, probably grilling out and having beers too, but grilling away. And then they're going to talk about how they meet Steve Owens. I can't serve it justice here, but Steve Owens is integral in this story because he really latched onto them and did everything he could to help them get out there. And before long, everyone knows about 5 for the Kill.
Yep.
Because they're playing all the great spots.
Yeah.
So testament to you, Steve Owens.
Yeah. And look, a testament to the band, I'm going to go out on a limb and say one of the reasons that they worked for so long before they played out is because they have original music too.
Yes.
And, it's easier to throw covers together and put a band together and get out relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it, and some guys can do it in a matter of a couple of weeks, but months.
Yeah.
But to do originals and do them justice and to get out there and really promote yourself that way, it takes months and months and months, if not years,
and
to get ready.
It's the same 5 guys.
Yeah.
From the beginning. So I feel that's special because that's a lot of commitment from 5 different people. Honestly, Fevertree is in that boat. I know Rocco's the second bass player, but at the end of the day, it's a group of people that are willing to just give some time, give free time, stay, time away from family.
Yep.
Thank you to all the wives out there for letting them do that. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a testament to them, like you said. Also, talk about, coming out of the gate swinging. They ended up opening up for Fevertree and then Josie Scott. So it was a Josie Scott headline show at Growlers. It was a full weekend. And night number 1 was 5 for the Kill, Fevertree. Fevertree is just all over this episode.
Yeah.
Just by coincidence here. Fevertree and then Josie Scott. So Steve Owens, again, I know he was integral in that whole show.
Right.
And getting 5 for the Kill up on that is huge for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's... I don't know how I don't really know how to find the words for that. Like you're right out of the gate and you share a stage with a national name, that's been all over the country and maybe even the planet.
And then to open up for Possum Titty?
Yeah.
Are you
amazing.
kidding me?
Yeah,
Aren't you thirsty? Let's drink some coffee, Joe.
We love Tim Ville so much.
Let's take a coffee break, shall we?
All right. Yeah. That's nourishing.
All right. So check out their YouTube channel too. Just search 5 for the Kill. They get some singles out there. They're in the studio with Jimmy Falp. So we talk about all those things as well. So
Yeah, working
it's a great
at
interview.
Broken Snare, that's another plus for them because Jimmy is only going to take their original stuff to the next level.
I can't wait to hear it. Like we said last week too, Fast Mothers are in there.
Oh yeah.
So good Land Divided. Thank you, Jimmy, for what you do.
Speaking of Fast Mothers, I saw Mr. Chris Rubel at the show as well.
Oh, damn.
Got to talk to him for a little bit.
I love hugging Chris Rubel's neck. He's a good guy.
They've been in the studio with Jimmy Fulp as well. Can't wait to hear that stuff because I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I just said that.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay. We said it.
You know,
We said it twice.
That was a soundbite light intro, and that is not good.
Just play a couple of them.
I want to get a new board because I can't organize this like alphabetically or anything, so it takes me forever to find shit. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. So anyone out there watching and listening right now,
repeating what you said,
thank you for dealing with my dumb ass, but also thank you for, as always, supporting this show, watching, listening, sharing posts, commenting, hearts.
Even if you fast forward through all this bullshit, we appreciate it.
And I'm sure some do, but that's okay.
That's all right.
HempvilleCBD.com. TRS20 for 20% off at checkout, plus free shipping on orders $50 and up. I want to thank our band sponsors again. Shout out to Fevertree for joining us, Shawn Few, Area 51, and Seeing Red.
Yep. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Rhythm Section Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's a big one. That helps us a ton. And go to the rhythmsectionpod.com for all the links and channels. And there's photos on there, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff. And merch. I mean, you can't go wrong.
The rhythmsectionpod.com, one-stop shop. Again, thanks everyone. Go see a band. Do the best you can to get out there. I'm failing 2 intros in a row. I'm like, go see a band.
Yeah, it's
and I haven't. But again, thanks for everyone. Thanks for doing what you all do for us, audience. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Yep,
enjoy our interview with Five for the Kill.
Five for the Kill.
Jeff, we have the hottest new band in town with us today, Five for the Kill. We have Brian Hall and Brad Riales. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yep. You almost screwed it up, though.
I still stumble.
Yep.
I'm a stutterer and a mumbler. You know how that works. You know how that works, Jeff.
It's all good.
Working with me for the last 2 years. But thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for having
you.
us. Yes. Glad to be here, man.
We're excited to learn about how this all came to be because you guys are on the scene, and it seems like it happened overnight. But we all know that's not always the case because there's tons of rehearsing and building of a band to lead up to that. So
yeah.
And you guys have original music, which is amazing, and that takes even more time to get right than learning covers. So we want to hear all about that.
And I did check out your YouTube channel, which all the links for these guys in the band and the channel, YouTube channel, will be in the description. So your originals are great.
Man, thank you.
And we want to touch on all of that as well. But first, we'll start with Brian. So where are you from?
Originally from Cleveland, Ohio.
You started with him because he plays bass.
Well, yeah. Even though I thought Brad was the bass player.
You're playing favorites.
You play bass?
I am the bass player, yeah.
Awesome. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah. I wish I could wear a hat as cool as yours. I don't look good in hats at all.
Thank you. That hat gets more attention than I do.
So you said Cincinnati?
Cleveland.
What brought you way down here?
Music. Music of all things.
Okay. What year? Like how long you been down here?
Moved to Nashville in 89 and got to Memphis in 90.
Oh, wow. So you've been here a minute. So you've known the Memphis scene back when it was hot and
that's why we came here, yeah.
Okay. See, me and Jeff get that story so often. You know, Memphis was the place to go, wasn't it?
That's right.
It was. It really was back in the day. A lot of bands getting out of here. Lord Tracy, Roxy Blue, Every Mother's Nightmare. I mean, it was a hot scene. And, of course, Nashville was not a good place to be if you were wanting to play rock. So
yeah, now it is. You can do anything there now. There's all genres.
It's all the same, yeah.
But it's just so busy. There's just so much going on. Where Memphis has a much more hometown feel.
Yeah, a little more laid back, I think.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, and it's easier to kind of just get to know everybody. Where Nashville is just a melting pot.
Yeah.
You know. So, Brad, where are you from?
Originally from Memphis, born and raised. South Memphis area, and been kind of all over the place, man. I moved to Arkansas for a little while, graduated in Marion, Arkansas, and moved back to Memphis, and just here recently moved to Olive Branch, Mississippi. So tri-state, baby.
That's Jeff Ward's land.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably not far from one another.
Yeah, and Brian lives in Hernando. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're representing DeSoto County.
DeSoto County dudes, man. Yeah.
All right, well, then I go back to you, Brian. You know, were you always a bass player? Is that what you started with?
No, started with guitar, like
Okay.
a lot of bass players.
I did too.
Learning to play guitar, and the friends that I moved down to Nashville with, they needed a bass player, so
Yeah.
they said, "You're playing bass now."
Yeah. That was my story in high school. My cousin had a band. They needed a bass player because he graduated. He was a little older. I was like, I know where I can get a guitar and an amp. Can I be in your band? He's like, sure. There you go.
That's
Boom.
it.
That's it.
Well, if you want to be a busy
Fate was
musician, learn how to play bass.
Yeah.
Because you can't find bass players, but you can find every other position all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Brad, when I was plugging through your Facebook pages and trying to do some research and looking at pictures, one of the reasons why I thought you were the bass player, because you had a picture that is a wall of fucking bass players,
Yeah.
bass guitars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure there was guitars mixed in there too, but I don't look at the guitars. I just look at the bass. But so you play both?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that great at bass. I'll be honest with you. I'm very humbled by that.
Yeah.
I tried my hand at bass, and I mean, man, I can play drums. I can.
Okay.
I mean, but there's a line, you know.
Oh, for sure.
I stick to what I know the best, and then I stay with that.
Yeah.
I can play drums. I can play bass. I can, you know, I pretend to sing every now and again. So
Does that come into play with the original music where you can kind of write and you hear drum parts,
That's
you
right.
hear where the bass line can go?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's very beneficial because I can hear all those parts,
Yeah.
and to be able to explain, you know, or what's the word I'm looking for? Deliver.
Force
You know,
them to
yeah.
play.
No, like
Yeah.
this.
Do it like this. It's the A sharp. Yeah, yeah. For instance, you know, we're in the middle of writing new material right now. We've probably got 4 or 5 songs that are about halfway here and there done. And yeah, so I'll say, hey, why don't you try this right here? Try this lick right here, and he takes it and does his own little thing with it, and you know, and I think that's how we kind of we gel really well. That's why.
Yeah, he was on the drums yesterday,
Yeah, I mean, so Taylor, for
showing
instance,
apart. Yeah.
he's our drummer, and I don't try to take any spotlight, any kind of shine away from anybody. But you know, when I've got a beat in my head
Sure.
for this riff, I say, hey man, let me jump on there real quick, and I'll play a little, and then Taylor gets it right away, man, and then does his own thing with it.
Right.
So,
And everybody in the band is like that.
Yeah.
Taylor being a drummer, but he hears these guitar parts.
yeah,
So he doesn't play guitar,
nope.
but you know, he'll
He hears.
vocalize them, and
Yeah.
I mean, structure wise, he hears. You know. Chorus, verse. Hey, I think this riff needs to be the bridge, or hey, why don't you try this little?
And that's a
thing?
great dynamic to have when everyone's
Yeah, man.
accepting of the other ideas. And that's ultimately going to produce some good music.
Absolutely, man. And we've written, let's see, probably 3 or 4 together as a band, and yeah, you can tell the difference.
Yeah. Because that's not easy.
No, it's not.
No.
It's rare to have a group of guys that are willing to give and take.
Absolutely.
yeah, it's definitely a good group of guys.
Yeah. Well,
So let's talk about these good group of guys. So
yes, sir.
we got obviously Brian and Brad. We got Jason Luckett
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
on vocals and rhythm guitar, Taylor Morris on
Taylor
drums, and Zach McCullough
that's right.
on keys, guitar, and vocals. Is he related to Andy and Tracy by any chance?
I don't think so.
Do you know them?
I don't.
Oh, Andy and Tracy, they're a married couple. They have a band called Roxy Love. So just
Oh,
throwing that
okay.
out
So
there.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Wait a
Yeah, we
minute.
do know them.
We know them. I don't think there's any relation there, but there, for some reason, I want to say that has been brought up before.
Oh,
you know?
sure,
Yeah.
yeah. Because those two they've been on the scene forever, and they're
Yeah.
beloved
Yeah.
people. They're really sweet.
And everybody knows Zach, man. Everybody.
Okay,
I mean-
yeah. Oh, yeah, and you know, I don't mean to be insensitive, but he is blind,
Blind,
That's right.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Is it full or is it shadowy?
From my knowledge, he's 100% blind. He can kind of see, like if he walks into a room, he can tell if the lights are on or not.
Right.
But other than that,
That's
Yeah.
it.
that's it, man.
And that's cool. You guys are his brothers, helping him
That's
load
right.
and get through everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Oh,
all
yeah.
good for you guys. That's great because I'm
Yeah,
sure
man.
he enjoys playing.
He does.
That's all
That's
he
his
does.
life.
Man. That's
Yeah.
what he does.
Okay, yeah. So let's first off, how did you get the name? I know there's 5 of you. Are you guys angry? I mean,
That's a good
what's going
question.
on?
That's a very good question. So I'm not even really sure where to start. We're going to, I just try to keep it light on this situation because I'm just going to come out and say it. We were rehearsing one day and we were kind of all frustrated about the band names that we had come up with. 1,000 people had already had the name. So we were like, dadgum, you know, what's original? What's also kind of sticks out? Like what can we do? And Taylor is the one that come up. He was just like, what about 5 for the kill? And we all kind of looked at each other and like,
Okay.
all right,
All right.
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
So that sounds good to me, you know. And
it sticks out. And
And-
I love your logo. I love your art.
Oh, it's great.
Man.
Yeah.
we got a guy, Taylor, matter of fact, drummer. He's got a friend of his. We call him DD. He does graphic design, and he designed that logo for us.
That's
Nice.
great. And it makes for a great Facebook profile pic.
Yes,
it just
sir.
fits in just right. Do you guys have merch?
We do.
We do.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to Steve.
Thanks to Steve
Oh,
Owens.
so yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk Steve Owens.
Yes, sir.
So he kind of discovered you guys. We'll give him the credit. He
I mean-
discovered you, you know, and brought you guys out from the garage.
That's right. And I'm telling
He was
you,
definitely the flame to the fuel. Yeah.
yeah, if it was not for Steve, we would not be here today.
Yeah.
I
So
thoroughly believe that.
Mhm.
so anyone that doesn't know, Steve Owens and his wife Katrina Owens are, you know, prominent in the scene. They go to all the shows. Steve's always there to help people load gear. He's just one of those guys.
He's there, man.
and
Whatever.
he knows everyone. So yeah, you know, he clearly latched on to you guys, and he's got you guys working, doesn't
Man, yes, he does.
Yeah, he said, you want to play some shows? We were like, yeah. And I mean, 2 days
Dude.
later, he's got us booked.
Every-
So he's like,
every
you said you
weekend.
wanted to play.
he? Yeah, and it takes bands a minute to get into Lafayette's too, and
Yeah.
and here you guys are in Lafayette's.
I mean, all these clubs.
Neil's,
Yep.
you know, I heard it was extremely hard to get into Neil's and
Sidecar wasn't that easy. I mean, we actually talked to him a couple of times and
didn't
you
want
know,
nothing to do with us.
They don't know who you are, but
Bastards.
I know.
When Steve walks in
Yeah.
like a phoenix,
Flicks back.
rising from the ashes.
But what,
Flicks back to Cape, man, you know.
and I'm sure you guys are starting to see this now. Once you have your foot in the door and these venues know who you are, it's no longer an issue.
That's
No.
correct.
Yeah.
But you got to get that first show and create that first buzz. And
Where was that first show?
Sidecar.
Sidecar,
Which one?
Southaven.
Southaven.
Yeah.
There you go, right up the street from us.
Mhm.
Right
Yes,
now.
sir. Yeah.
Played there several times. So that's great. How did it go?
It was great.
It was a good show. I'm not going to lie. You know, it was that was our first actual concert. I mean, we played little churches and
BFW.
VFW,
and
Legion,
little
Lions
events.
Club.
So it wasn't your
yeah.
first gig.
not necessarily our
Yeah.
first gig, but that was
our
our
first real.
first. I mean, that was our first real show, man.
Sure.
That's awesome. What was
Yeah.
the first show?
The first show, golly,
Reds?
man.
Was it Reds?
Was it Reds? It was either Reds or the Lions Club.
Reds. Is that down in Coldwater?
That's Reds
Mhm.
Barbecue down in
Yes.
Coldwater, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Open mic night? I know we went in a couple times. And
Oh, there's a good chance that you were in that room with Tracy and Andy McCullough.
They were.
Oh yeah, they were there. They were
there.
there. They
Mhm.
they played. Matter of fact, they got on stage shortly after we did. We
Mhm.
shared the same stage together that night.
She played my bass.
Yeah, played his bass.
She's a good
Hung
little
down to
bass
her
player.
knees.
Yeah, man.
She's awesome. She's nice and smooth in that pocket.
Yeah.
I'm a big
She
fan
sings
of those guys.
great.
Second nature.
Yeah, and our friend Chris Neely plays down there. Some open mic nights, drummer.
Chris Neely.
I know that name.
Why does that sound familiar?
You know, he goes down there. No, probably not every week, but he frequents the place to go sit in, do the open mic deal.
Okay, all right. So Chris Matula is who I'm thinking of. He is the guitar player for House Blend Band,
Okay.
who plays every Thursday at. Well, I'm not sure if they still do, but when we were first going down there, they were the House Band.
Blend Band, yeah.
House Blend Band.
Uh-huh.
Ted Alvarez.
And Ted Alvarez. And then, so yeah, they were like, hey, man, put your name on the sheet. And it just started from there, man. And we've been going at it ever since.
So same 5 from the beginning.
Same 5.
So let's talk about the origin story. How did this come to be?
All right, so I'll give it my best shot.
Put you right on the spot.
Yeah, man. So, okay. Myself, Jason Luckett, and Taylor Morris, we all three at the time, back in 2017 is when I believe this whole thing started. We worked at Eldridge Services, Heating and Air, all three together. And Jason, me and him were working together one day, and he said, hey, man, I'm going to go to my buddy's house after work today and play a little guitar, and you want to come hang out? And I'm like, well, hey, yeah, actually, I play a little bit and sing a little bit too. And so that's what happened. We met one day after work and hung out and played guitar and jammed out. And then it just started as me and him. I said, hey, man, I got some originals. He's like, well, I got some originals too. And we just kind of started swapping original music back and forth and started doing little harmonies here and there. And we really, really, really enjoyed it, man. I mean,
What year did you say this was?
this was 2017.
Wow. So
When I started working for
Yeah.
Carl.
it didn't happen overnight.
5 years to be overnight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's exactly that. It's an origin story, man. I mean, it kind of came together in pieces, So it started with me and Jason, and then Taylor, drummer.
Mhm.
I was like, man, let me be your drummer, man. Let me be your drummer. And we weren't even trying to go that route. We were just jamming.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, we was like, dude, yeah, let's just see what happens. Taylor had a little drum kit, and we had a spot to jam. Mr. Carl Eldridge was letting us rehearse at the shop, after hours.
He may be the most important piece of the whole
I-
puzzle.
It's so hard to
there's
find a good rehearsal
no
space.
Yeah.
doubt about that, man. I mean, yeah, if it wasn't for that, yeah, there's no telling where we'd be right now. I mean, he extended his heart to us, man.
Still supports us.
Still supports us.
Great.
I
Mhm.
mean, it's just it's incredible how this thing came to be, man. But so it started with us three, right? Now we got Taylor, and then shortly after that, Zach McCullough,
Mhm.
because Jason was in a band years ago called String Theory, and him and a bunch of other guys plus Zach were doing the damn thing,
Mhm.
playing casinos and stuff, and so they go way back. And then so now Zach comes in. He's like, hey, I got a dude that plays keys and can sing harmonies, and bring him on in here, man. So we did, and we started doing some actually, we weren't doing any cover tunes. We hadn't even started thinking about playing covers. We were just doing original music. And every once in a while, we throw in that, honky tonk woman or brown eyed girl, or we just do a little something, some Haggard or something, kind of lighten the mood up, But so now there's four, right?
And then the best one for last.
And saving the best one for last. That's right. So Mr. Brian here owns a company here in town, Cerberus Construction, which he can tell you all about that. They're
Okay.
great guys. And so Eldridge Services contracted through him, through Cerberus, did some heat and air work for him,
Mhm.
So there we are, me, Jason, Taylor, all working on the job sites. And I see dude's got hair down past his ass. I was like, man,
gotta be a musician.
he's got to be a musician, So walked up to him, introduced myself, and said, hey, dude, do you play music by any chance? Well, yeah, I play bass. And then it was like the curtains open. Yeah, there it is.
That's what I love. I love a good origin story like that.
And then
When
there
it
you
happens
have it.
organically like that, it's beautiful.
Fell into place.
It really did, but it like you said, man, it did not happen overnight. It took a solid two years, because when COVID hit, we hadn't even played a gig yet. We were still rehearsing and doing, so it wasn't a crucial thing. All these other bands that were out there playing clubs and jamming and really had to, what's the word I'm looking for? They had to basically chill out completely
Yeah, it
because
was
of
true.
COVID.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, we weren't to that caliber yet and didn't affect us at all at that point in
Yeah.
time. So,
You
yeah,
guys were just hiding out,
Just hibernating.
building it up.
just building it up, man.
That's awesome. So right out of the gate, what I'm gathering is Five for the Kill is original first.
That's correct.
And then, but now playing out, obviously, the drill. Got to do a lot of covers. So what was that like? Is that something you talked about? Like, hey, if we want to go play and make some money, we need to ramp up covers. What was that conversation like?
That was pretty much the conversation.
We need to make some fucking money, guys.
You got to play 3 or 4 hours, and we just don't have that much material yet. So.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't have that much original stuff.
But we did decide.
You punch them in, though, right?
We
for your
did.
night?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to play our originals, throw them out there, see how people feel about them. And luckily, we've had a good response with them.
Your channel's great.
Man.
You have, 5 songs on there?
I believe there's only 4 up there now.
Yeah, I scanned through them, and they're great. I mean, good, upbeat, riffy.
Yes, sir.
No,
Southern fried rock kind of feel.
Yeah, where did you guys go to record those?
That's a great question because we've had a lot of people ask us that. So this particular outfit was in Memphis. They're called Station 8 Productions. What's his name? Nick.
Yeah,
was one guy, and Drew. Nick and Drew and Brent. Those 3 guys. I believe that was his name. Brent. Yeah. So those 3 guys. Actually, we found them through another. Okay, so Jason, let me back up and get this right. Jason stopped working for Eldridge, went to start working for another company, Heat and Air Company. Met this guy that worked there, that also played music, and they had recorded some music through this particular production company.
Okay.
And we were just kind of trying to outsource information like, hey, where can we go that's not just going to, totally bankrupt us
Sure.
and have a decent product.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was like, man, yeah, why don't you go check these guys out? And for they charged, I believe it was 300. I think, well, never mind. I think it was about $300 a song.
yeah, it was cheap.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
It's not bad.
And a decent setup over there off of Summer Avenue in Memphis.
That's right.
And
So
good guys worked with us. It was supposed to be kind of a one take altogether
live, we had all intentions on going
for
in
that
there,
kind of money.
recording it
Sure.
live.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't
It
happen,
was a
man.
train wreck.
Yeah.
Really?
It was terrible.
What was that first inkling of this not working?
About 3 seconds into the first song.
Was it the click track?
Click
'Cause-
track
yeah.
wasn't working.
It was, and also I'll be honest with you, I don't think, and I don't have any regrets going to these guys. They were absolutely phenomenal. I don't think, and I don't mean to badmouth anybody. I just don't think that they were set up at the time to do a live take recording. They had everybody kind of separated, and in order to record live, I mean,
No, I get
for
it.
us, we have to have that connection, looking
for
at each
sure.
other and
Anybody
saying,
does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
It's a whole different art.
so timing was off,
Sure.
everything just not, the vibe was not there. I mean, it just didn't jive.
But they quickly,
They-
they realized it, and they're like, "Look, same money, no problem. We're going to come out. We're going to track you one at a time, just like regular recording."
Yeah.
And went the extra mile for us to,
yes, they did.
to get it done.
Well, that's great. And
Yeah.
I can tell you, however much you guys rehearsed before you went in the studio, multiply that by about 20 to get good enough to go in and do it all live.
Oh yeah,
That is
Yeah.
a freaking process, man,
Dude.
and not just, it takes a lot to be able to do that.
Yeah, and
So,
if you're going to be all in the same room, now you get live mics
yeah,
bleeding, you get amps bleeding the drums, vice versa.
Engineering nightmare.
Yeah, so they don't
Yeah.
they don't want to deal with that, But so did you record your 4 originals? I forgot. I have them listed here: Good Times, Bad Decisions, Terrible Lies, Slide It, and For You.
that's correct.
So that whole day was those 4.
Yes.
so we did it in a weekend.
3 days.
Was it 3 days?
1 to 3.
May have been 3 days.
Okay.
First day we just kind of did the rough tracks. We realized that we weren't going to do it live. That took probably half the day getting everything set up.
Sure.
And once we realized that was not going to happen, we just basically did the scratch tracks that day, and then came back the next day, started laying down actual recordings. And then when it was all said and done, that last day we did the vocals, harmonies,
Mm-hmm.
and then they spent probably a week, maybe close to 2 weeks,
Just
mixing and mastering, and this kind of took control of it, man. And then through a process of listening and communicating, saying, hey man, there's little things here, there's little things there, over the phone or via email, they mixed it greatly, man. And then there you go. Now we got our product.
Like I said, check out their channel. Link in the description. And yeah, the mix is great. I mean, they are professional sounding
Yes,
songs
sir.
for sure. So when was this again? Remind me of when you did this.
This was last year. We started recording, I believe it was January or February.
It was cold.
It was cold outside. Actually, it was January, because we were actually ready to release. February 14th was Valentine's Day, and we released For You.
Oh, that's
Which
so
is-
sweet, guys.
Yeah, man.
That's
Oh,
so
good
sweet.
times.
I could tell you guys are sweethearts.
Good times, bad decisions should have been the song.
I know,
Good
right?
going,
I know,
yeah.
right?
That deserves a laugh track.
Well, I tried to basically put my wife. The song For You I wrote for my wife, and really, we were just kind of trying to show appreciation for her, to her, for not
Putting up with you.
basically putting up with me and putting up with the whole band situation. So
That was a smart move.
No.
yeah,
That was a solid move.
So she was tickled to death about it, man. My kids love the song, which is great, because I never would have thought that would be, I mean, Daddy plays the band. Oh yeah, whatever, change channel. But no,
They're just not old enough yet. Trust
Yeah.
me, they'll get there.
yes, they will.
So let's talk influences. So we'll start with Brian. Growing up, who'd you dig? Who's some of your favorite bass players?
I'm going to show my age here.
Do it, man.
Well, you already did that when you said you moved to Nashville in the 80s. I think you already covered that.
So going back to the 80s, I loved Scorpions and Rat.
Cool.
I was into the hair bands back in the day.
Have you met Jeff?
Imagine that.
Kindred spirits.
Were you listening to bass players early on, or was it just rock bands?
It was just rock. I just liked rock. But no, wasn't really paying attention to bass players until you pick it up, and then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
bass is a thing. Okay,
Yeah, it does exist. It is actually cool.
I love it. I love it. I do not regret ending up a bass player.
Yeah. How about you, Brad?
So I'll start by saying, like, when I was younger, I had a handful of influences, like Chevelle, Crossfade, Stained, that kind of post grunge stuff when I was younger. And then as I got older, my influence, I guess you could say, they just evolved, for lack of a better term. Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, started getting into that whole
That's a good
melting
bluesy
pot.
influence, which
blues rock,
Yeah.
Johnny Lang, Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Yeah.
ZZ Top, man. But I also try to throw a little bit of pop and stuff in there too. So I am from Memphis, so I try to throw that little neo soul kind of stuff in there too. So like Justin Timberlake,
Sure.
he was just in town.
did you
I gotta
guys?
say,
Did you catch the show?
man, I just whatever was posted on the Facebook, people were sharing stuff on Facebook.
It was a free show, right?
I think so. I'm not-
Something kind of last minute and announced all of a sudden a free show at Orpheum.
Yeah, I believe
didn't
that
know it
was the
was
case.
free.
I didn't. Yeah, I wouldn't know, but I heard he killed it, man.
Oh, I'm sure. I would be interested in that.
Yeah.
You're going to get a great show and an intimate, like in a theater. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, two influences that I thought I heard in your music. The first 10 seconds I listened to it, I thought I heard 38 Special,
Oh, that's cool.
and I thought I heard Leonard Skinner.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Skinner.
So
Can't go wrong.
I thought, man, and sometimes people don't like to hear that their music sounds like something, but to me, it's just an influence, and I hear that in your music, and to me, it works.
Which song did you listen to first?
What was the name of it?
It was Good Times, Bad
Good Times.
Decisions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little backstory on that one. That is the brainchild of Jason Luckett. He wrote that song.
That's his baby.
Did it involve alcohol?
I'm sure it did.
All good things do.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it did.
That was such a random question. I don't know.
Good times, bad decisions. It's,
Oh, yeah.
it's
okay.
got to involve
I didn't catch
booze.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the lines in the song is one of my favorite ones in the song is, old girl walks into the bar, and he kind of sees her, and he walks up to her, tries to take her by the hand, and before he can even get out on the dance floor, old boy, her husband or old boy walks up, and he's about 6'5", didn't like the way
He grabbed,
I grabbed his wife.
Yeah.
And, it's like, easy, big fella, easy. Hold on now. Good times, bad decisions.
Yeah, and I've been there.
I'm sure there was alcohol involved in that situation.
And then you got Terrible Lies. So who's fighting with who on that?
So I wrote that song when I first started. That was probably one of my first songs I ever wrote. I was probably 18, 19.
Okay.
And again, going back to the influences when I was younger, kind of like the whole Chevelle, Crossfade, Stained type. You could probably hear a little bit of influences like that in that song, Breaking Benjamin kind of thing. So yeah, that was about a really terrible relationship when I was a teenager.
I couldn't tell by the title.
Yeah.
Terrible Lies is not going to be a love song.
No, not at all. No. Gotta have those, man. You gotta have the good ones, and you gotta have the hate songs. You gotta have the love songs. You gotta have the dance songs.
So when you were listing off those, the post grunge bands, was Saliva in there?
Absolutely.
And I bring that up because you guys had a big show last year.
We did November 25th. 25th.
That sounds right. Yeah, Growlers.
Yeah.
Yep. And you shared the stage. Not, you didn't back them up, but you guys were part of a bill with Josie Scott.
That's right, man.
Were you the same night as Fevertree?
Yes.
We were.
So it was you, Fevertree, and then Josie?
Yes,
Is that how that went down? How'd
Yeah.
that go for you?
Went great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
One of the best shows to date that we've played.
How long was your set?
45?
We played an hour.
Was an hour?
I believe we played an hour.
So did
It
you have
could've
to
been
pepper in some covers in there or no? So you have an hour's you have a full hour set of originals?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Now, I'll say this. We didn't have to throw any originals in there, or not originals, cover tunes.
We did do one cover.
But we did one cover.
By request.
By request from Steve Owens.
You got to say yes to that.
And so, I mean, if it wasn't for him, like I said, we wouldn't have.
Did he request a good one at least?
Mud Shovel by Stain.
Oh yeah, he
Okay.
Yeah.
good song.
It wasn't Wagon Wheel. That's good. That's good. Sweet home. Get out of here, Steve. You're fired.
Play that funky music.
You're fired, Steve. Thanks for all the hard work, but you got to go now.
Yeah, it was. I'll say this, man. It was a great call. It was a super good call because everybody loved that song, man.
So this is fascinating. Off mic, Jimmy Fulp came up because I'm wearing 6 Feet Thunder shirt.
That's right.
And you're working with Jimmy. So we just found this out. So let's talk about what's going on there.
Yeah. So this is very exciting because me personally, I haven't really known Jimmy. I haven't known much from Jimmy, but he's been in the scene a long, long time. He knows a lot of folks. I'm looking at pictures that you have on your wall over here, the Fast Mothers and Fevertree, and to my knowledge, they have been recorded by Jimmy.
Yep.
Jimmy Fulp.
The Fast Mothers?
The Fast Mothers.
I think
And Fevertree as well.
Fevertree as well.
Fevertree is just starting to work with them now.
Yeah.
Jimmy's done every Fast Mothers album.
That's correct. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So
Broken Snare Studios, shout out.
Yeah,
And to
man.
my buddy Jimmy, I love him very much.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Oh, yeah.
That's his favorite wrestler.
Between takes, if you guys will go downstairs and talk to Donna about wrestling, she'll love you forever.
Awesome.
Wrestling.
Some wrestling.
If she's ever in conversation, you're like, man, I wish you'd leave. Talk wrestling. She'll be gone. No, we love you, Donna. We love you too. So let's go back to the working with Jimmy.
We are scheduled the 21st. That's today, right?
It is.
That is.
So
We're supposed to be in the studio now.
we were supposed to. Actually, I think it's the 28th. I think we need. Yeah.
I hope it's not today.
Sorry, Jimmy, we didn't mean to steal your.
I believe it's the 28th. I believe. So we'll go see him the 28th, and we've already kind of had a formal meeting where we discussed what we wanted to do, and of course, time frame, pricing, and all that stuff. And
Sure.
But yeah, so Jimmy Fulp will be our next recording engineer.
Good
To
deal.
do 4 more original songs for us.
Yeah, he's deeply ingrained in the history of this city too. Moved down here, much like you guys did, or at least your story, Brian, where the band he was in at the time, Play Rough.
Play rough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And they were like, let's go to Let's go to Memphis.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's why they're here. So I'm grateful. Jimmy's a good wrestling buddy. We're wrestling fans. Right, Jimmy? I got another one for him.
What you gonna do?
Sorry. I got to do it.
Oh,
you know,
that's great.
We told you we keep it loose in here.
Yeah, man.
We're a bunch
Love
of goofballs. So
For sure.
So let's talk about some upcoming shows. You know, as this episode is being published, we're somewhere in February. So let's talk about some dates that you have coming up in March, April, and into summer.
All right. So if we want to go back towards February, I'm not sure. You said this is going to air sometime like middle February?
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
So we've got February 16th at Hadley's, 9 to 1.
And if it already happened, it was an awesome show.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Thank you for coming.
And March 17th is another one at Hadley's. That's going to be a 6 to 10 time frame.
Ooh, that's one we can go to.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got April 26th, I believe. Yeah, April 26th is also Hadley's. We've got May 17th at Neal's. So right now, I think we're really trying to ease the throttle back on this thing a little bit.
Sure.
Like I said,
Write and record.
If you let Steve Owens take charge, you'll never get any rest.
I'm telling you.
So that way
And-
you can balance your time, just start writing more, and
Write some
recording more.
That is
When,
correct.
Do you guys want to talk about gear? We got a lot of listeners that love some gear. You know,
Yeah.
So what do you play, Brian?
Got a couple Mesa Boogie 810s and a Carvin amp, which a friend of mine actually talked me into getting. I was playing Harkey, which I liked, but just temperamental.
You said you had 2 810 cabs?
2 810s. I only use one.
Nice.
That's when I was on bigger stages, I needed 2, but
Yeah.
one's almost too much right now. But the Carvin amp, I love. That thing's been a workhorse. Sounds great. It's got all the features.
What kind of basses do you play?
Spectre.
Spectre? Okay.
Yeah, I've got some old Fender, old Gibson basses that I love, but the Spectres are my go-to.
Bread and butter, baby.
Yeah.
Now, do you play through any kind of effects at all, or are you just like Derek and you just plug it straight in and go?
Play straight. Anytime I've tried to use effects, it's been disastrous.
Yeah.
Can't get them to stop when you want. Can't get them to start when you want.
Yeah, no, I'm simple. I'm a simpleton.
Yeah.
You know, I just Ampeg SVT 7 Pro Series.
Oh,
Yeah.
SVT is.
Yeah.
I love SVT.
Yeah, it does the job.
Yes,
And
sir.
it handles. It can be bounced around.
Yep.
They're rugged. Good to go. That's all I
Road
need.
dogs.
Yeah. What about you, Brad?
So I've got I play Epiphone Les Paul for my guitar. It's a traditional Pro 3. I bought from Carl, Carl Eldridge.
Mhm.
I think he's still part owner of the store, Melody Time Music. I do want to give a shout out to those guys. They've been pretty helpful for us too. As far as my amp, I've got a Hughes and Kettner half stack 412 Celestion speaker, just a solid state head, 100 watt,
Mhm.
and
Sounds amazing.
and yeah, I mean, honestly, I was playing through it was a 50 watt crate tube amp when this whole thing started. And that was great. Don't get me wrong. I loved it, but we had a gig at Southaven Sidecar and we played under the water tower, outside under the water tower.
Yep.
And man, I cranked that dude just as hard and loud as it would go, and it just wouldn't get it there.
Yeah.
Would not get it there.
You didn't have the room to kind of help capture it. It just,
Yeah. And the louder I
disappears.
got, the more volume I could get out of it, the muddier it got.
Mhm.
And I, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the amp. I really honestly think that if it was like on a setup where it was mic'd and I could have maybe brought the volume down some, then it's an excellent amp. So I still keep that amp for smaller venues and things like that.
Mhm.
But,
Sure.
I just recently got a Reverend double agent guitar. That is a humbucker with a P90
Mhm.
tremolo bar. Absolutely, just an incredible guitar. I love it. It's beautiful. Sounds great. Let's see, and I play about 4 different guitars is what I have on stage with me at all times.
What about the 20 bass guitars you have at your house?
Now that picture was taken a long time ago, man. So I don't have the basses anymore.
Okay.
Matter of
Did
fact,
you give them all to Brian?
no, man.
wish.
I wish. So I generously gave them away, man. I mean, I had some
Wow.
folks. I had a buddy of mine. Matter of fact, Zach McCullough, the keyboard player in our band, he owns one of those basses. But it was, you know, and it's like I said, honestly, I stick more to the guitar. So having a bass was great around. Just having, hey, that's cool. I'm gonna thump on the bass a little bit, but
Thumping the beat.
yeah,
But you also need to back off.
need to.
You already
kinda-
got a bass man.
That's right. That's
You need
right.
to back it
Fringing
up.
out
That's
my
right. So I'm like,
territory.
man, what the? I don't need this damn bass, man. Here, you take the bass, man.
You brought up Zach again. I'm glad you did because I wanted to talk about how he plays guitar. He puts it on his lap,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And how is he? Because I've seen other players do
Jeff
that.
Healy style.
Jeff-
Yes,
Healy,
there
yeah.
you go. That's right.
Mhm.
So that's crazy how he can do that.
It's absolutely crazy, man. It blows me away.
And he'll sit there and do that and play keys.
Yeah,
I mean,
so he'll sit there and
He will blow your mind to sit and just watch him.
And he sings.
and he
and
sings.
sings.
Do you guys trade off leads, or
Vocally?
is
Yes.
Jason pretty much the lead singer mostly?
We trade off vocals, leads. So
Because you got 4 in the band, right?
that's right.
Because Taylor doesn't sing, the drummer.
Yeah, we don't give him a microphone.
Cut the drummer some slack.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But hey,
yeah.
Jimmy Falk, great singing drummer.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, man.
And there's a lot of them in town here. Jacob
Bones.
Turner.
Alan Boneyard.
Alan Bones.
Shout out to him.
Yes.
Incredible, man.
Yes.
Man.
Have you seen the Boneyard yet?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck
Mhm.
yeah.
Played
dude.
with him at Neil's.
It was Neil's.
Yes. Oh, then shit. I was there.
That's right.
Yeah. Y'all were there.
Yeah, I didn't meet you guys though. I didn't know you guys were there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we ended that show. We
Yeah.
were the last ones
You
to play
weren't supposed
that show.
to, but something happened with the
I
scheduling.
had to roll out. That's right. I missed your set. I had then went to see
Yeah.
Fevertree at the place next to Minglewood. That's why I
Yeah.
had to leave out. So it was a day full of benefits. There's a lot going
Yeah,
on.
man.
It was. Yep. Christmas stuff.
Yeah, but shout out to Alan Bone and the
Absolutely,
Boneyard
man.
guys.
Mhm.
Rock and roll, brother.
Great job. Yeah. Sorry, I went off on singing drummers, but so
It's
yeah,
cool.
so you got 4 vocals and you trade off leads.
We do, yeah. So all of the originals that we have, we trade. Like Jason sings like 3 of the originals that we have. I basically sing the rest of them. For now, we're still trying to keep that incorporation where, you know, we trade off. Like we have a song, New Horizon, where Jason will do the first verse. We all come in harmonizing 4-part harmony on the chorus, and then second verse comes in, and I take the lead.
Cool.
So we kind of swap. You know,
That's neat.
just, man, it's great.
It resets the eyes too as you're watching. It
Yeah.
moves people around, and with 4 leads, helps the old throat, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
And the
man.
voice, you kind of
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, it does. It's very, very helpful.
like when you see, like again, 6 Feet Thunder. I'll bring that up again. You know, it's 5 mega singers. They all are lead singers,
Yeah.
and they can just go around the horn and
That's
just
right.
take their turns. You know, and it's remarkable.
It
You know,
is.
I'm not a singer at all, so it's just so cool to watch and listen to. Real good vocals.
Do you guys remember? And I know you remember because I was with you. You took me to see this band. It was
He's pointing to Jeff, by the way.
yeah, Jeff Ward over here. The Fifth Kind.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, Jimmy ended up playing drums for Fifth Kind right before they disbanded.
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
No.
Hell yeah.
I did
And
not
there's
know that.
there's a huge push to get those guys back together. We're all working on it.
That's what I heard, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
Corey Myers, Jeff Adams, John Roth. Who was the other one?
Kerry
Sean
Bador
Roth.
and Jimmy Falk.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
before Jimmy, it was Pete.
Pete Mandela.
Pete Mandela.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Hey.
say this, man.
God bless your soul, brother.
That was probably almost 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And I got to be honest with you, man. It was because of that band I wanted to do this again.
I can believe it. They were just nothing but superstars in that band.
Dude, I was blown away,
Yeah.
man.
Hey, I don't know if you guys are familiar with those members, but John Roth plays for Winger and
That's right.
Starship.
That's right.
Jeff Adams plays for Starship. Corey Myers now plays for Tom Kiefer from Cinderella.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
So they're all superstars in their own right.
Just an all-star
Mhm.
band, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jimmy, 6 Feet Thunder.
Yeah.
No, you guys are awesome. I love all these bands, but
Yeah, man. So because of that day, man, I gotta say thank you for that. That was a
Well, that's cool.
eye-opening experience.
They were a great band. They
so you guys go way back then.
yeah, well, Brad and
that's
I, we have a musical history together.
Yeah.
It wasn't very long, but we worked together for a little while.
So
and
you had to
just-
fire his ass? Is
Yeah,
that
he
what it
fired
was?
me,
Right.
kicked me to the curb.
Man, no.
But how'd y'all meet?
I don't remember how the hell we met.
You know what? I think it was Mark, the keyboard player. Remember? I think okay,
Mark Bates?
Mark Bates.
Okay.
Do you remember him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He played in Thump Daddy for a little while.
Yep.
So we had a band, me, Mark, his son, and another guy named Austin,
Okay.
and we named the band Moonchild.
Hmm.
And we were playing clubs. We were doing the dang thing, man.
Right.
But it just didn't work out.
Right.
And so Mark started jamming with you guys.
Yeah, he came to my house a few times.
And so Mark was like, "Hey, man, why don't you tag along? I'm going over here with these guys over here. They need a singer."
Okay.
And I don't know, man. I don't think I was the one you guys were looking for. I
don't remember, man.
I went one
I remember
time.
we did a show. We did a couple of shows together with Big Luscious or Big Lucius.
Big Luscious.
Yeah, and he passed away, unfortunately. He had
Yeah.
diabetes and it took his life, unfortunately.
that
Rest in peace.
Billy Ray Scott was his name.
Big Luscious.
Yeah.
Big Luscious.
That's a hell of a band name right there.
Yeah,
That's a
man.
great band name.
Dude, you should have seen our logo. Have you ever seen the mud flaps on the back of a Mack truck? It's got the skinny lady all laid out. Well, it was a big voluptuous woman. Oh, it was great, man.
It's pretty
Big
proud of
band,
girls.
Mud Flap Kings.
Yeah.
You know those guys?
Yeah.
Were they? Was he not? No, that was Truck Patch. I'm sorry.
Oh, Truck Patch.
Truck
no.
Patch Revival.
Yeah.
But do you know Chip Edelman and Chip Doty by chance?
I've
From
heard-
the Mud Flap Band?
I do not know them personally. No.
But so Truck Patch is Frank Caswell, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Or was
Him
that
and Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't Nick Garrison in that for a minute? That was a different band.
No,
Wow.
it's different.
Do you know Nick?
I do know Nick Garrison.
Me and Jeff played with him several years ago.
If he sees this, I know you don't know me from Adam, man, but I follow you and check you out. You're an incredible singer,
Yeah.
incredible musician.
Soulful, very big
very
soulful.
country soulful, man.
Nick is amazing. Derek and I did a stint with him and did some original music of his, and it was fun. We had a great
Yeah.
time.
With our buddy Jeff Cobble. Have you met Jeff Cobble yet?
Yes. Yeah.
Of course you have.
He reminds me of an old Axl Rose, dude, man. That boy gets on down on that stage, man.
Yeah,
I love him. He's got a lot of energy and hell of a guitar player.
Yeah, no, he's great. We love him.
Yep.
He's in a band with Jeff again now.
Yeah.
Generation X.
That's right.
Yep. So,
Gen X, man, what a band.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you can tell we gave up on trying to find a name that nobody else had used because there's like 5,000 Generation X bands out there,
Yeah,
but
like,
I didn't
fuck it.
care. I
I'm
said,
telling you,
screw
man.
it.
that just put Generation X Memphis.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you
There's
go.
your page right there.
Yeah, so before we were Five for the Kill, we were actually Stoic
Okay.
was our band name. And it fit us really well. We thought it was great, but man, we tried to get stuff set up on the
So did
internet.
29 other bands.
Yeah, about 30, 60, 11 bands.
Yeah.
Are there other Five for the Kill out there?
No, we didn't
Nice.
find any.
Trademark that thing.
Yeah.
Well, that was the reason
Seriously.
why we went that route.
I know a good guy that can help you with that.
For real?
Really good.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have all my shit trademarked.
Okay.
Man,
Yeah.
that would
Yes.
not be a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah. His name is Ted Crowdis. You
I
don't
know
listen to this
Ted.
show, Ted? You know Ted Crowdis?
I know Ted.
No shit.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
He handled 5 marks for me for Mississippi and Tennessee.
Okay.
Now,
Very cool.
going national, that's like 20 grand
Mm.
per mark.
That might take a minute.
Ouch.
But no, when you go regional, when you break it down per state, it's not that awful. So yeah, I'll let y'all know off mic.
Yeah,
here,
man.
for sure.
Very, very cool.
Well, look, are we missing anything, guys? Before we head out of here, is there anything you want to talk about? Message to your band, how much you love them.
Tell your
Yeah,
wives
they're
you
all
love
right.
them and appreciate them.
Hey, I'm just glad to be here, man.
Yeah,
I
thank you all for
appreciate y'all
having
for
us
giving us
and-
the opportunity to do
Oh, man,
this.
yeah.
Oh,
Look forward to this a long time.
Excited to be part of the Memphis music family again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Man.
it's a good one. It's a strong one.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
it
It's
is,
a fun
man.
one. People like Steve Owens. You know, we'll give Steve Owens another shout out. You know,
Yes, sir.
thanks for bringing these guys out.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah,
Thank you, Steve.
and you guys are making waves for sure. You know, it's obvious if you're flipping through Facebook and we follow your page.
Yeah.
It's just always something going on. So good for you guys. Congratulations.
Man,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
But all that hard work, you know, people think, oh, these guys came out of nowhere, but no, you guys paid your dues and worked this
Man.
shit up.
We rehearsed, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, probably 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, that's a long time,
Yeah,
and
man.
keeping the same 5 guys into it.
Yep.
Yeah. Before
Yeah.
we even stepped out, you know.
Yeah, well, it shows. So
Man, thank you.
that's awesome. You know, oh, let's do that. So, well, look, we do appreciate it. Especially the long drive from Hernando for Brian.
I know, right?
Thanks for making the
You
track.
picked me up on top of it. I didn't even have to drive.
But well, good deal. Look, thanks for listening and watching. Oh, we do appreciate you. As we always say, you know, the way you share our content, and hopefully you share the living shit out of these guys' posts.
Yeah, man.
Please, because helping this podcast helps the spotlight that shines on these people. So please share away. Visit therhythmsectionpod.com too while you're there. You can find all our channels there. And then we want to thank our sponsor, right?
Yeah, man. HempvilleCBD.com. We love you guys. If you guys want a gummy, go see them.
TRS 20 at checkout will give you a 20% discount.
Yep.
Also,
Sweet.
online orders at $50 and up are free shipping.
Yep.
Check it out.
Thanks to our band sponsors, Seeing Red, Shawn Few, and Area 51.
Yes.
You guys are all amazing. We can't do this without you.
Facebook, Instagram at the Rhythm Section Pod. Please patronize. Come like our pages. Facebook's at 1.2 now, which is awesome. We're loving that, and that's because of y'all helping us out. So we do appreciate that. And
Get your asses out and see a band.
that's right.
How about
see these
5 for the
guys.
kill?
Yes.
For the kids.
That's
And
right, baby.
again, shout out to Steve Owens. Thanks, Steve,
man.
for doing what you do. All right, guys.
See ya.
Take care.
Thank y'all.
Bye.